Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah and this is the first episode of Pleasure Trove in 2020. Also, I want to let you know that I am currently running a special offer over on my Patreon. Patreon is a place where you can support your favorite creators and help them do what they do, and I absolutely adore my Patreon community. As a patron, you get a lot of special and early access to things, bonus content, live streams, your name at the end of the videos, depending on what tier you sign up for. And basically, during the special offer, which ends on the 3rd of February. So basically you need to be signed up for the $5 tier or more by the 3rd of February, and then you get a common room pin. So the common room is the name of the community of patrons. We have a Discord server, we chat, it's a really great time. And yeah, the first special offer I did 6 months ago, we had the common room sticker set, and now we're doing the common room pin. If you sign up to become a patron by the 3rd of February, then as well as all of the other monthly perks that you get, you also get the common room pin. So I hope you like it. I hope you sign up. Hope to see you in the common room. Pleasure Trove is a series where we discuss news, pop culture, and products, all of a sexy, sexual nature. Kind of like a sexy favorites videos, but with more substance. And I can say that because I make favorites videos. We have a lot of ground to cover because it's been a while since the last episode of Pleasure Trove. So we're just gonna dive right in with the news. The sexy, sexy news. A woman on Twitter who calls herself the Naked Philanthropist has raised a bucket ton of money for the Australia fires by telling people who donate at least $10 and send her proof of it that she will DM them her nudes, or a nude. So she has given away her nudes in the name of charity, and this has gone completely viral. It's been all over my Twitter feed. At the time of recording this, the best source that I've found of how much money that she's raised is about $700,000, but I'm sure by the time that this comes out, it will be more than that. It will be like well over $1 million. I have huge admiration for her. I'll link in the description her tweet, which you can share if you like, but it also has an image of a whole bunch of different organizations that you can donate to, and you can donate to for a nude, or you can just donate to them. This next story was from November, but I felt like it needed talking about because I'd be curious to hear what you think. And it's that the clitoris may not be solely for pleasure. Scientists reckon that they have found a reproductive function to clitoral stimulation. Now, here's the thing. People have been debating this for decades, for centuries, the function of the clitoris. And back in the 1970s, there was also a theory of how it linked to reproduction, but at least in my lifetime, and especially in my lifetime as a sex educator, I've just been telling people the clitoris is the only organ that is for pleasure only. And that's a great story to tell, but it might not be true. So when the clitoris is stimulated, it sends signals to the brain, which makes a whole bunch of different things happen. It increases vaginal lubrication, it increases blood flow to the vagina and vaginal acidity, and all of these things make the environment much nicer for the sperms. It gives them a fighting chance. And it also causes vaginal tenting and ballooning, which is basically when the cervix repositions itself to help the wee sperm out. So I have some thoughts and questions. It doesn't seem like an orgasm is necessary for reproduction. It's just that stimulating the clitoris helps out the environment a bit to make conception easier, but it doesn't seem like it's necessary in the same way that an orgasm from a penis is kind of necessary for there to be a pregnancy. Well, not anymore, IVF and all that, but like if you're doing the PIV sex. Also, it's widely believed that the G-spot is in fact just the internal clitoris, and it's where the internal clitoris is against the vaginal tunnel. So would vaginal penetration have the same effect? And my final question is, what does this mean for feminism if we can no longer claim that the clitoris is the only organ on the entire human body, male, female, that is solely for pleasure? If I'm honest, I think this might mean that the whole movement is doomed. It's the end of feminism. If the clitoris isn't just for pleasure, that was the one thing we had. The one thing Next, Germany abolishes luxury tax on period products. This is also from November, but I was reading about it and discovered some things that I didn't previously know, and now I want to share with you in case you also didn't know this, but maybe you already did, and then I apologize for bringing it up. But basically, in Germany, period products were originally taxed as a luxury at 19%, and hundreds of thousands of people signed this petition, and they dropped it down to the tax for a regular household item, which is 7% in Germany. Now, this led me to what it was like in the UK, because I remember we had the whole period tax, luxury tax debate a couple years ago, and I was like, what's happened with that? Where are we at now? So UK menstrual products are taxed at 5%, and some of that money is meant to go to charities to support women and girls. I did know about this, and I was like, that sounds great. Here's the thing I didn't know. One of said charities that is supposed to receive money from a tax on menstrual products is an anti-abortion charity. What? As soon as I started Googling this, there were loads of like outrage news articles coming up from 2017. So don't know how I missed this. I lived under a rock. Very glad I do this series now because it keeps me up to date on things. If there's any like sexy, or in this case, not so sexy, news that is happening, doesn't have to be UK based as well. Like, please let me know because we can share it in these episodes and like raise more awareness about things. Hopefully, is that what I'm trying to do? So here's the thing. All of these articles were from 2017 though. So I don't know if this is still the case because there was all this outrage. And so did they drop the anti-abortion charity from the list of charities that will receive that money? I don't know. I couldn't find anything, but some of you might be better Ravenclaws and researchers than me. It just makes me very angry and doesn't make a lot of sense, because this money is supposed to support women and girls, and being anti-abortion does not help women and girls. I'm saying women and girls because that's what the law says, but what I mean is people with uteruses, people who can get pregnant and may need access to an abortion. So that was a whole roller coaster of emotions. We have, yay, Germany decreasing the tax on menstrual products, to, okay, the UK is doing this thing. Is that still the case? Do we need to do something about that? All right, we are on to some TV favorites, and oh boy, is it a good month for sexy TV. I know you're all screaming it in the comments, but Sex Education Season 2. Here's the thing. At the time of recording this, Season 2 is not out yet. However, there is a trailer and I watched it and I'm so excited. Maybe Sex Education was my favourite show of 2019. It might be my favourite show of 2020. We shall see. By the time you are watching this, Season 2 will be out. I will have binged it all. So I'm just going to leave room here to insert a clip to future Hannah to give her thoughts and opinions on Season 2 of Sex Education. Over to you, Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah here. I have binged Season 2 of Sex Education right here on this sofa, and I have some thoughts. First of all, I love it. I love this show, and it didn't let me down this season. It was brilliant. I adored it. I'm not going to give away any spoilers right now, by the way. This is just going to be like my thoughts, and I have some notes down here, so you see me like looking there. That's what's happening. Okay, so Amy's storyline was by far my favourite. I think it was really powerful and really well done. Gillian Anderson is just amazing. She's brilliant. I love her. My favourite new character is Viv. I thought she was brilliant. Do I keep saying brilliant? It was just all brilliant. Season 2 had a bit of a vibe of like all of the good guys, if there are like good guys and bad guys in Sex Education, but all of the good guys were dicks. Like, everyone was a bit of a dick in this series. Like, everyone was being an arsehole. And then there was like moments where the bad guys have their moments of humanity, except for Mr. Groff. He's just a bad guy all around. No redeeming qualities so far that we've seen. In this season, there were loads of iconic film references. So references to Mean Girls, The Breakfast Club, High School Musical, what else? Love, Simon, and loads more. If you spotted any, let us know. But yeah, that was kind of cool. It was like an homage to like high school cinema. It was cool. I liked it. The outfits, as in season 1, adore all of the outfits. The overall feeling I have from the season is I feel sad. Like, it was a lot heavier, I felt, this season. Season 1 was super wholesome. You're just like, isn't this gorgeous and isn't this brilliant? And then this season had like moments of that, but it felt like it was going further down like a drama route rather than a comedy, even though it was hilarious. I was laughing out loud at so many bits, specifically Baba Ganoush. But yeah, it was heavier, it was sadder, more drama, and then with, I guess, the main like conflict love storyline, the constant will they, won't they, and then missing each other all of the time. It's very frustrating, but it's what keeps us watching, but also, If you would like to have more in-depth spoiler conversations about sex education with me, we have a thread in the private Discord for my patrons, which is like latest spoilers. So usually when any TV show is on where people don't want to be spoiled for things, we go in on there and we like discuss everything. So become a patron. There's a special offer on at the moment and we can discuss the spoilers from sex education. And back to you, Hannah. Thank you very much, Hannah. I hope that what you said wasn't disappointing. The other big TV event is the new Vox Explained series, which is Sex Explained. And let me get this right, the episodes are sexual fantasies, attraction, birth control, fertility, and childbirth. I have watched all of them other than childbirth. I started watching the childbirth episode and I realised that I would like my partner Dan to watch it with me. And so we've yet to do that yet, but I shall update you on that on social media if that happens. But I've watched all of the other ones and I really enjoyed it. I think they've done a really good job of getting a diverse range of participants, like the people that they interview to share their own experiences. It is mostly US centric, but then they do kind of branch out for a few like mini stories that are more global and talk about different cultures and different things that are happening around the world, which is really cool. A couple of standout moments for me in the attraction episode, Lisa Diamond, who was like one of the experts that they interviewed, she was talking about genes versus environment, and this is like a debate that we're always having, like nature versus nurture, all of that kind of stuff. And this was such a great point, and I was like, yes, this makes so much sense, that genes versus environment doesn't tell you what is and isn't fixed about someone as a trait. Does that make sense? Watch the episode. She said it brilliantly. But we have this thing of like, if that is a trait that is informed by your genes, then that is fixed and you can't change that. Whereas if it is a trait that is informed by your environment, then you can change that. But what she was arguing is that you cannot apply that. Genes, environment, whatever it is that has caused you to have that trait, like that doesn't tell you anything about whether that trait is fixed or not. And I like that. The birth control episode made me have a breakdown. If you've read my book, The Hormone Diaries, I talk about it a little bit in there, but I didn't go super hard on it because I didn't want to become the kind of person who was like spouting conspiracy theories in a book about periods and contraception when I'm a massive advocate for birth control. But just to catch you up to speed, I have ulcerative colitis, which is a form of inflammatory bowel disease, and I've had it for decades. And a few years ago, I got the Mirena coil, and a couple of months after having the coil put in, I had a severe flare-up of my ulcerative colitis and was hospitalized, almost died, and had to have emergency surgery to remove my colon. And now I have a stoma bag. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we got that. Here's the thing. I was asking all of the doctors questions like, could this flare have been caused by the coil? Did something happen? Because that was when I started noticing symptoms, was pain after having the coil put in, but I thought it was like coil period pains. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I talk about it in the book, The Hormone Diaries, out now. But all the doctors were saying to me is that there is no evidence that the two things are linked. However, my common sense tells me that they are linked, and what Sex Explained on birth control told me is like, yeah, even more so. But again, it's still conspiracy theories. There's like literally no research on this. If anyone knows of any research or is a researcher and wants to do research on it, please let me know. But basically, in the Vox episode, it was the first time I'd heard the IUD being referred to as an inflammatory device. But that makes perfect sense. You put a foreign object in your body and it causes inflammation and your white blood cells to react because they're like, ah! So your immune system is like, the fuck is this? Hello, I'm someone with an autoimmune disease. Have there been no scientists or birth control experts or anyone who has done research into what if you put a foreign object inside the body of someone who already has an autoimmune disease? Does that then trigger their autoimmune disease to go into flare? Makes perfect sense to me. Anyway, I had a breakdown after watching that episode because I felt seen, but again, there is still like no actual research to link the two, but I'm like, it makes sense in my head. Anyway, if I keep talking about it, I will cry. And then the fertility episode was kind of cool to see all of the new science stuff, but holy shit, it's expensive. Those are my thoughts. This is a new category for Pleasure Trove, and it is TikTok. Yes, that's right. We have a TikTok category now. My friend Lucy sent me a link to this woman's TikTok profile because she was like, oh, you might find this really interesting. And I did, and I want to share it with you. Her name is Goddess Ambrosia, and she's a dominatrix. She's a femdom. I think she also might be a findom, which is like a financial dominatrix. And she basically talks on TikTok about her work, about sex work, about being a dominatrix, busting loads of myths, talking about consent. She talks a lot about money and boundaries. She starts off most of her TikToks saying, hello, 18 and up friends. Obviously, there are a lot of people on TikTok of all different ages, so she can't really control who watches it, but she is at least kind of going, this is for 18 and ups, which I think is pretty good. There was one TikTok that I saw of hers where she also mentioned that she has a chronic illness. I don't know what chronic illness, but she talks about how being a dominatrix actually really works for her because she can't do like a regular job because her chronic illness would stop her from doing that. So she can like earn money and work for herself as well. And I was just like, yes, girl. And also she uses TikTok trends and TikTok memes and does them in her own way to make them about femdom, which I think is really cool. So yeah, you know, if you're on TikTok, check her out, Goddess Ambrosia. I think she's great. Okay, and now we are on to stuff. I'm just calling this category stuff because that's what it is. This first one is an app that someone recommended to me after they saw my New Year's resolutions video where I talked about doing my Kegel exercises and actually committing to like somehow remembering to do them. Someone recommended me the NHS app Squeezy, and it basically does that. It's an app that reminds you to do your pelvic floor muscle exercises. So I went into the App Store and I downloaded Squeezy. It costs $2.99 and I've been using it for the last few days. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. So you can set it to send you notifications for when you need to do your exercises, which at the moment I like, but you never know. We could get like a couple weeks into this and I just like turn it off because I'm like, stop! But so far, it's worked really well. I think especially because I work from home. And so far I have been doing them like when I've been sat at my desk. But then also yesterday I happened to be waiting for a bus when it notified me. So I just did them whilst I was sat at the bus stop. So that's quite nice. So this is what it looks like. Squeezy. I love the name. My next session is due at 9 a.m., which is in 12 minutes. But what I could do is I can squeeze now. So I squeeze now. And we press play to start. So you squeeze. I'm doing it now. I find the slow one really difficult because you have to squeeze for so long and then relax. And the slow one is also a bit boring. I much prefer the quick one, but I also feel like the slow one it's just doing something different. And now I'm squeezing again. I am going to continue doing this, and Becky, my editor, is gonna speed it up. We're on rep 4. This is definitely better than when I was doing it myself. Ooh, relax. Also, you don't have to stare at it. So here's the thing, like I could put the sound on and it makes a noise when you're supposed to, there you go. So now I'm squeezing. So I have been just like working and the phone's been there and I've had the sound on, and when I hear it go ding, then I switch to squeeze or relax. Relax. See? Lovely. Nice and easy. Although at the moment I do find the multitasking quite hard. I wonder if that gets easier with practice because I feel like I'm focusing so much on doing the squeezy squeeze. Right, we're on the last rep. And now we're just going to do the quick ones. The quick ones I love. The quick ones are great. Get ready. Hey, we did it! And then we save that. Great. And so now it won't now buzz me at 9 a.m. The next one is at 3 p.m. There's lots of other stuff that you can also do it in that app. I saw that it also has a bladder diary. I don't know. It's got lots of cool stuff in it. So check it out. It's $2.99, but it's also like the official NHS pelvic floor exercises app. So I trust it. Next in stuff is the Lesbian pride flag. If my memory is correct, I learned about the Lesbian pride flag from some amazing viewers of mine at Social in the City Winter Edition last year. We were like looking at all of the different pride flags, and I didn't know that a lesbian pride flag existed. And it is beautiful. It's just such great colors. The pinks, the orange, the warm tones. And I was having a look into it, and it was just someone on Tumblr came up to it. They were not satisfied with the flags that they were given, and they were like, hey, I'm just gonna make my own lesbian pride flag. And it kind of took off. And so a lot of people have started using it. If you're a lesbian, you don't have to use it. The creator of it has like an FAQ about it on her Tumblr, and she's like, hey, it's for all lesbians, cis lesbians, trans lesbians, like it's for all lesbians, but also like if you don't want to use it, that's totally fine too. I'll link her Tumblr in the description, and you can read her post all about the flag and her FAQ about it. But I just wanted to go through what she says that the different colors represent. So from top to bottom, it is gender non-conformity, independence, community, unique relationships to womanhood, serenity and peace, love and sex, and femininity. So there you have it. I'm sure lots of you maybe already knew about that, but in case, like me, you didn't, there's the lesbian pride flag. Isn't it gorgeous? And now I actually have something physical to show you, which is a first for this episode. Meet Prudence. This is Prudence. It is a sex toy produced by the company Finebone, which is this woman called Fion, who is brilliant. She got in touch with me a couple of years ago about her making this toy, and I supported the crowdfunder of it. I think it was on Kickstarter, and I recently received my Prudence, which is such a great name. I emailed her recently about it, and she said she's hoping to have Prudence on general sale from February. So it's not available just yet. Her website is live, and you can sign up to the newsletter and stuff if you want to find out. Let's just get her out. Let's just show her. So this is the tube that she comes in. It's all ethically produced and manufactured from natural materials. It comes in this gorgeous little bag, which is made by some women in India, which is part of a charity, and there is like lots of info in the little bag about those women as well, which I think is really, really cool. And this is Prudence. She is a porcelain dildo. It has like a grippable hook, which I think is really great because if you like cannot grip, if you can't do the grippy thing, then you have like a thing for your fingers. And then also what you could do to make her vibrate is if you have like a bullet vibrator, you can just like stick it in there. Also, because it is porcelain, you can heat it up, you can cool it down, do a little temperature play if you're into that. But oh my god, she is just beautiful. She is beautiful. So yeah, if you want to find out more about Finebone and Prudence, then I'll leave a bunch of links in the description. This is unlike any sex toy I own, and I haven't actually used this yet, to be honest. A bit nervous too, but I think it's just because it's new. It has like this ridge here, which might feel nice. I'm like into that. That looks lovely. It also doesn't look too big. I'm like, oh, this isn't like too intimidating, and it's like thin here, and then like you don't have to like put it in all the way because obviously it gets quite like bulbous. Bulbous, what a sexy word here. But also like she'd make a great ornament. I already have like a glass dildo that is just an ornament on my side, so you know, what's one more ornamented dildo? And that is it for this episode of Pleasure Trove. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like if you like this series. And yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on all of the things that I talked about, and if there's anything that you think that I should be aware of and checking out for a future episode. Much appreciated. Make sure you subscribe because I make new videos every week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!